Probably get my keyboard. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? No school today? Sweet. I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little sick. Been sick for a couple days now, but I'll be all right. Yeah, holiday break. I'm not missing this time. Okay, so we are going to work on the handle scales here. But first of all, I want to talk about lipos. And I'm thinking about making a video, like an actual video on lipos and that kind of stuff. But for now, we'll just talk about it in a live stream. So, first of all, lipo charger. I don't know why everyone and their grandmother suggests DC chargers, and every new person that's getting into the hobby that's like, what charger do you recommend? Are all getting recommendations from top modders like Bobo and Bobo was the first one that came off my mind because he was the one I saw on Facebook. But not pointing like any fingers strictly, but like in general, people on Reddit, people on Facebook point in the direction of a DC charger, and I'm not sure why, because DC requires a separate power brick that you have to have, almost like a laptop, and you have to separately buy this and plug it in. First of all, that's more expensive. Secondly, it's more dangerous because those little power cells are cheap, and they're from China, and they're made out of cheap materials, and I've had 2 of them almost catch fire because they were cheap and crappy. So that in and of itself, I never recommend DC chargers. What's your favorite YouTuber? YouTuber? I don't know, but I like Achievement Hunter. So I always recommend AC chargers going directly from the wall into this. It has all of the stuff to transform it into DC built in, and if I really wanted to, there is a DC port built into this. Now, this one isn't necessarily a cheap model, but it's kind of one of those things where you don't really want to be cheaping out on. This is your charger we're talking about. This isn't some lipo that might be gone in a few years. You're going to be having this for your entire hobby. So this one was only $43, and I don't think that's out of the ordinary. I don't think that's extravagant. The ones usually recommended are usually about $25 to $30. So I think spending another $15 for a better model that you're going to have is worth the investment, in my opinion. You have the lipo itself. I'll get more on this and like what all these things do in a second, but you have your actual lipo, and lipos are a pack of batteries. Oh my god, you never would have guessed. I mean that quite literally, though. There are cells, and each cell has a certain voltage. Just like a AA has 1.5 volts, each cell has a certain number of volts that it can take. Now, these vary more than average alkalines, where alkalines are like, it's 1.5, it's 1.5, it's 1.5, now it's dead. These vary a little bit more as you charge and discharge them, as you're using them. But for the most part, they are designated as 3. What is that? 3 points. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. 3.7. Is that right? 3.7 volts for each cell. Hey, Hawkeye, do you know how to mod a marshmallow blaster? No. Yeah, 3.7. For our hobby, we generally use 2 cell, which this is, and 3 cell, which I have somewhere else, but I'm not going to bother taking out. Actually, I think these are 3 cells. They are. Look, I was prepared. And these are 3 cells. So obviously there are physically more cells, so it's physically bigger, even though they're the same milliamp hours. Now, the milliamp hours just tell you how big the actual cell is. So 1000 milliamps is going to last you longer than 500 milliamps. It's just that simple. 1000 milliamps equals 1 amp, by the way. Amp hours. Amp hours and amps are different, believe it or not. I know it's a little confusing. Each cell, this is where people get confused. Where you don't want to be storing this at full charge, because unlike normal batteries, these have a certain chemistry that if you're not in the sweet zone, it will degrade the battery faster. So you want each cell to be at around 3.8 to 3.85 volts. That's where you want these to be stored at. Now, chargers like this, you plug it in, you select your mode, and it can tell you, I want to go to storage mode. In other ones, they don't have discharge abilities. You want a charger that has a charging and discharging ability. Otherwise, you can't drain your LiPo if you don't use it all the way. The only way you're going to be able to do that is by shooting it, and that's not really the safest method because you also have to balance each cell. As you use this, you're not guaranteed to use each cell evenly. One could be off by a little bit from the other one. This end is called a balance lead. It literally balances the cells. So if one is 3.7 and the other is 3.8, it will literally balance out the cells to make them both even again. One of these is going to be negative, I believe, and the other 2 are going to be positive. The positives coming off of each cell from the LiPo. So if this is a 2 cell, it's going to have 3 wires, one being one being negative, the other 2 being positive. If this is a 3 cell, it's going to have 4. One is going to be negative, the other 3 are going to be positive, going to each cell. So you can kind of do the math there and different things, and I could get more into this, but that's the basic safety that you need to know. You need a little checker, voltage checker. You might as well get a voltage alarm that actually says the stuff. But you plug it in. So the first one, if you're looking at, there are kind of 2 sides to this. There's the sides where you can see the metal parts, and then the side that you can't. That's all you need to know. Side with metal parts up, on the back of your little doodad, it will say negative 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S, 5. Just make sure the negative is all the way to the left of that when you're looking at the pins. It'll beep. You can't, even if you put it on the wrong way, it'll just do nothing. So you can't really screw it up. Check it on there. It'll tell you all of the cells combined, and then tell you each individual cell, and that's how you check your stuff. So when you first get a LiPo, you want to make sure it's good, and you check it, make sure it's fine. Maybe wait 3 or 4 days, check it again, still fine, then you're good. The first time you charge your LiPo, you want to make sure that that everything is fine. You want to make sure that it's not puffing up at all, that it's not getting warm or anything. It should never get warm during charging. There's a charge rate, how fast you can charge it. I always keep mine at 1 amp just because I'm not in a rush to do anything. It's usually they usually say what you can charge it at in the stats of the battery in the description and stuff. You can charge it just from, especially some of the cheaper ones, you can charge it just from the balance lead, but that is going to be agonizingly slow because these can only take so many amps. You want one that can charge it through the actual power lead. So you would plug this in, and then you would plug this into its appropriate slot on here. You can't screw it up. Even if you did, it will yell at you. The only thing that actually, I haven't even tested it, but I don't think you can screw this up. I think it will yell at you even if you're doing something wrong. But you do have to manually select whether it's a 2S or a 3S or whatever. But again, with this particular model, I don't think you can screw it up, because I'm pretty sure if you plug it into the wrong place, it'll say, hey, that's not right, you need to do something else. So that's basic LiPo safety. Make sure all of your prongs are covered up. The easiest way to do this is to do little individual pockets like this. Don't be confused. These little cases that say fireproof, safe, LiPo safe bags, they're not. There's no such thing as a LiPo safe bag, and anyone who says that there is completely lying and don't know what they're talking about. These things are basically just to hold your LiPos. They almost do nothing. As a matter of fact, some of them actually make things worse, because the outside is flammable, even though the inside is fire resistant. You unplugged it. Yes, I'm aware. So don't be confused. The only reason why I use these is because, number one, you need them for TSA. If you're going to be doing any traveling on these, you need to have your LiPos on a carry-on. There's a bunch of rules. LiPos on a... by the way, if you're looking up LiPo rules for flights, look up ion lithium. Ion lithium falls under... If you keep reading, ion lithium falls under the same category as lithium polymer. That's one of the things that I was really confused about. But you can only have like 100 watt hours, which you can do calculations online and stuff to figure out the watt hours. And they need to be in like LiPo safe bags or whatever. So that's why I have these, but also to keep the leads from kind of touching any metal parts or whatever. It's not really going to do anything because it's not going to jump like that. But just in case, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to have it in this. And then you have, this happens to be a 50 cal ammo box. So you would be opening this, and this looks super expensive, and if you go online, it's going to be super expensive. But if you go into Walmart, I got this thing for like $14, $13 or $14. These things are actually pretty cheap. What does LiPo, what does that mean the LiPo is bad? Okay, does that mean the LiPo is bad? What means the LiPo is bad? Oh, what should you do if the battery's warm during charging? You should either reduce how fast it's charging, so it'll say like charging at 1 amp or something. You either need to reduce that, or you need to be checking it very, very closely to make sure that it's not starting to inflate. As soon as it starts inflating, you have a bad battery and you need to get that out of your house. You have any plans for the holidays, Hawkeye? The family's coming over to our house, I believe. But these are going to be the safest way that you keep your LiPos. Please listen to this next part. If you have one of these, you either need to drill adequate venting holes in the top. So we're talking like actual venting holes, like not tiny little holes, actual venting holes on the top, or don't clamp it down. Don't hook it down like this. Just leave it completely open. Completely open on the top, because what's going to happen if something, God forbid, happens where you put a LiPo in here, and you can actually put this entire thing on the inside of here so it can't close. But what's going to happen is if something, God forbid, happens, it's going to be shooting out hot gas very, very, very quickly at around 1500 degrees. It is going to screw up your box. It is going to screw up your room. It is going to make a bunch of smoke, bunch of fire. It is going to be hell on earth, but as long as it's not facing a wall or facing anything flammable, it should just shoot out and you're going to have one hell of a time. But it's not going to burn down your house, and that's the important thing. If you decide to close this, now you have a bomb. Do not close this. That is a very stupid and dangerous thing to do. But it's much better than keeping it in just regular bags like this. Just keeping in regular bags like this, you might as well just keep it out in the open. These do absolutely nothing. How do you dispose of a LiPo properly? I have no idea. I haven't looked it up. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not even going to pretend. You're gonna have to look that up. I haven't had to do that yet, so I haven't bothered looking it up. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure if you go to some sort of hobby place that has lipos, like not like a big hobby store or something, but like a hole in the wall family owned hobby shop. I'm sure if you went there and were like, how do I get rid of this because it's bad? I'm sure they would tell you. I'm sure they would help. Let's get some of this cleaned up. But seriously, AC charger, this one in particular. Also another thing, I don't get any of my lipos or lipo components off of Amazon because Amazon is has a bunch of third-party people, and they don't care. They'll give you whatever hole-in-the-wall crap. I always get my stuff off of hobbyking.com. They're a very reputable source. I know for a fact that they're storing all of their lipos properly, and I know for a fact that this is genuine because they do make fake versions of this. As a matter of fact, they sell both the fake and the real version of this. Never get the fake, by the way. But it tells you right on there, big bold letters, genuine, fake. They tell you which one is which. So never get from Amazon when you're dealing with lipos. It's just one of those things where it's like you can skimp out on a bunch of other things. Don't skimp out on this. This stuff can be dangerous, especially if you think you have something when you don't. So, no, not missing another. Don't worry, we've just been talking about lipos. We haven't started anything. Sepsis or hypnosis trigger, rev trigger. Sorry, opening Christmas early. Sorry, was opening Christmas early. You missed the lipo PSA. Let me put this away. What's your favorite sport? I don't really watch sports, believe it or not. I mean, anything can be interesting if it's like the Super Bowl or, you know, whatever that equivalent end game is or whatever. It can be interesting, but for the most part, I don't really watch sports. Sort of strife with a rev trigger pull, and came back a week later to find my strife single. So I Zeus melted. Well, that was stupid and dangerous. That stuff is basically a bomb if you're an idiot about it. I agree. Beautiful sludge fighter. Good. God, I love these blasters. I mean, it's nothing too special. Especially for looks. It's just like a little thing coming out the end. What's your favorite mod? Ethereal Fortress. If I'm going to be quite honest. A little bit biased. So we got the tank in there. Got our barrel. These are interchangeable. This particular one has a polycarbonate tube in there, about a 1/2 inch, and then the rest of it is aluminum. Aluminum is relatively loose. I do believe the inner diameter of the aluminum is 0.527, and then this is about 1/2 inch, the polycarbonate is, and that's just because the Worker Gen 2s are a little bit loose fit, so the polycarbonate ring just kind of helps keep it in there so it's not sliding all the way through the barrel. And 6-inch barrels are perfect because they don't stick out. This, I don't need the extra power. This is already hitting over what our war will allow. So, I don't need any more than that. Will you be going to NWAR 2? Hopefully. I am running tight on money, but hopefully I will get some money going by the time that comes around. Theory of Fortress most likely allow me to. Other than using modular strife, is there anything you would do different about Ethereal Mark II? I'll answer that in 1 second. 527, was it? Yeah, 527. If you look on McMaster, or even if you look on the parts list for the Caliburn, that is the barrel type I'm using. The OD, I do believe, is 5/8 or something generic like that. Comes in like 2 foot, 4 foot, and 6 foot lengths, I believe. How come the handle topped off? We'll get to that in a second. I showed you my integration, correct? Probably. Has anyone seen MTV's gotten a single such fire? I imagine everyone has seen that. Hopefully, don't lose your guns again. I'm driving. Now that I actually have a local group, we actually have people to drive with, so won't lose my stuff for sure. Is the camera off a little bit? It's just a hair too much. There we go. So things I would do differently besides using a white strife. There are plenty of things. I would do the paint a little bit better. I would do a black base coat, primer, because the orange shows up just a little bit. It's not really noticeable unless I point it out, but I can notice it. So I would do a black base coat, and then the gray, and then the white, and that would cover that up. I'd be a little bit more patient in my white application. People have suggested that I use a pearl paint for the white. I don't actually like that on Ethereal Fortress, so I'd probably use... I still haven't confirmed the accuracy of it, so I'm not going to promise anything, but I think using brushless motors would solve a lot of the accuracy issues inherent to brushed motors. There's no accuracy issues with Ethereal Fortress, to be sure, but that's all because of the cage and stuff. But I think I would use an Eclipse cage with a speed dial brushless motor setup in Mark II if I could, but I haven't tested that, and I wouldn't be happy unless I tested it, so there's no promises on that. Little things here and there. I'd clean up some certain things. I thought about putting like a nameplate on there, but I kind of don't like nameplates. You know, it was kind of a one-time thing for Cursed Companion. It fit the blaster, but for some reason I just don't think it fits Ethereal Fortress. I'd have to think about it. Will the theory? I'm gonna make a blaster name shorter. But what's the theory? Paint scheme. Also, Jake said you occasionally loan out Ethereal Fortress. Is that true? Yeah, I loan out Ethereal Fortress anytime I'm not using it. How would you be installing brushless motors in a Strife? Very carefully. I have all the technicalities worked out. I just don't know how to program all that stuff. So I'm talking to some people to get that worked out. The paint scheme for Emulation theory is going to be basically dark tan. And if you look up Bentusi, Bentusi, that's a species in a video game called Homeworld. And that's basically going to be the color scheme that I'm working off of. So I'm thinking about doing some yellow LEDs in there as well. Can you do a full mod guide, no editing? For Wet Blaster. I'm working with Bonomic custom cage for drop-in. I don't usually... oh, wait. Blono. Excuse me. I'm working with... I was going to say, I don't usually recommend working with Bondo because it chips. But never mind. Blono. I know who that is. How do you come up with your names? I've gone over that several times. I think we're just going to be answering some questions here before we get started, because I think a bunch of people are new to this. For the Strife, I mean, I guess I made that other Strife in like an hour. It's not really a big deal. How do you come up with your names? I think of a word in my daily life and then I write it down. If I ever think of a word that's mildly interesting, I'll write it down. I have a list on my phone. It's like a bunch of notepads. I keep notepads everywhere on digital things, and I actually just got some sticky notes so I can start sticking them everywhere in the real world. But I have a bunch of notes, and it's actually a full page of just one word names. Whenever I come up with something, like I'll think of the word theory, and all of a sudden it's like, I feel like I could use that in a blaster name. So I will jot that down, and then I'll keep coming up with other names, other names, other names, other names. And a lot of them don't mesh up. I'll try to intertangle some, and a lot of them don't work. But all of a sudden I'll come up with one name, like emulation. And that works with so many names, like emulation theory, emulation engine, emulate, and it works with a bunch of different things. And then I'll figure out which one I like the most, and that's my name. You can look up things online like weapon name generators for things like D&D or other things like that. Most of them are pretty stupid, so don't expect anything awesome. But what that's good for is looking up single words. So if you see a word you like in one of those lists, then you can be like, oh, and then you can write that down, and then you can keep searching, and then you might find another word that can go along with that. Or it's Oracle Divide is the name of that one. That's not going to be the permanent cage in that blaster, but I just kind of threw it together because I wanted to test the cage, and I am going to be using that shell for something else. And I think the heart of the blaster is in the shell itself, not the motor cage, because I think that's a swappable component. A lot of people are like, the heart of the blaster is the motor cage, and I guess that's technically right. But remember, we can do heart transplants. We can't do brain transplants. I think the brain is in the shell itself. So yeah, what is the handle cut off for? So usually when I work on blasters, this is kind of by mistake. I don't consciously do this, but basically when I'm working on one blaster, I pick out a shell, I look at it, I say, this is the shell I want to use, it's in good shape. I have a weird thing. Even though I'm going to be sanding this entire thing, it matters to me. This shell matters to me. So I'll look it over, make sure everything's passing inspection. And now, before I ruin it, I want to make sure that everything is in good shape. So I'll do whatever mods I need to do to it. And then if I run into a hitch where I'm not sure about something, I whip out an identical blaster and then do that thing. So I'm not ruining this one, because this one is war ready. I can use this. I have used it in an actual game. So this one, cut off that because these handle scales require you to cut them off. So that's why I have that. Freaking awesome. Surgeon Simulator, tell me otherwise on brain transplants. So, if it makes you feel better, I thought of the word Morpheus before the Morpheus cage came out, and I was going to name something with Morpheus, and then the Morpheus cage came out, and I was like, well, can't use that. Okay. So, I have some epoxy putty on these, as you can see, because there was a huge gap in between here, because these handle scales are actually, the handles coming off of the Tech Recon Hammerhead are actually pretty thin, and so I had to beef it up and make some fake walls here. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to extend these posts out so that they key into here just fine, or I might just extend both of them and meet in the middle, which might be a little bit easier for molding in the long run. Not exactly sure what I need to do 100% yet, but what I'm going to start by doing is flattening these out so that they actually fit together again. And then I'm going to start carving on the outside. I'll worry about the inside later. If you're going to use a Greek name or a Roman name, I suggest you start using those quickly, because the rival line likes to use those. there's a good chance that they might get picked up in the future. Is Helios not a blaster? I could have sworn the Helios was a blaster already. Yeah, they did. Okay. So, mask. Where is a mask? I do believe a mask is downstairs, and I'm actually thinking about it. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Give us another... what? Biohazard is amazing. I didn't make Biohazard. Oh, Nick is there. Hi, Nick. Live streams are great for productivity. They sure are. So, mask is going on, so if I sound a little bit strange, it's because I'm wearing dust mask. Things are about to get a little bit dusty. Okay. Hey, RZ, what's going on? So, those of you with headphones that are turning up your headphones super loud, I'm about to turn on the Dremel, so you might want to make sure you turn it down just a little bit. I'm wondering if we should just start with... I just gotta make sure I'm not accidentally trimming down this, because that's not what I want to do. Make sure that I'm not trimming this down. Gavin, let's remove that, please. No begging for subs and stuff. That's not really something we do here. Why hasn't this started? Do you not see me? Does Mark not see me? Not a problem. You didn't know. There's just no easy way around this. There's just no easy way to do this, is there? It's like, how do I... How do I do this? Try using a long file. There's an idea. It's just hard to tell where's the middle. Yeah, I'm wearing a respirator. I think I'm actually shockingly close, but I can't tell where it is at down here. Okay, starting to take off bits that we don't want to take off. I cannot tell. I think I have a little bit to go. I really just want to wing this. I'm trying to like be all precise and stuff, but I really just want to wing it. See, with a lot of tools, you might get some options, like you might scrape yourself or you might like cut yourself a little bit. With the bandsaw, it's just kind of like an on or off thing. You either have a finger or you don't. No chill. If it looks like I'm sanding this weird, it's because it is. I'm actually holding this piece up on this side and trying to tilt it down like that. Okay, wow, that's definitely off. I find this easier just to kind of wing this. Than it is to super precise methods. I feel like I've done this enough times where I've earned a little bit of leeway. I'm actually pretty good at carving. I find carving fun. I always wanted to be a sculptor when I was little. Either a sculptor or pencil artist. Okay, now let's try to even that up. Well, oh my god, I just looked up. There's stuff all over the screen. I can't even read. Tend to burn myself more than cut. Currently drive. Is it on drive? It's okay, Gav. Don't be too hard on the guy. I can always put back, but it's just a pain in the ass. Nah, you're fine, Nate. Don't let Gavin bully you. Hey Nolan, what's going on? Trying to even things up. See, like, I feel like that was much less work than if I was to try to sand it carefully and make sure everything's precisely... Like, I'm pretty sure that's actually pretty flat. Whoops. Might as well get rid of this. This is doing nothing but getting dusty. Yep, definitely has been a while. I'm pretty happy with that. I think there's some slight fine-tuning here and there, but we can get to that once we have the other side done as well. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. Before we do any of the carving, I want to be able to fit these together, so let's go ahead and do this side. I have that damn song stuck in my head, and it's just that one line. Everybody hurts sometimes. I don't know why that's in my head. Gavin, why are you deleting messages? Might be able to see it pop up on the stream. Hold on. Gavin, quit deleting people's shit. You're gonna start pissing people off. If you keep being a grammar Nazi, I will remove your privilege of being a moderator. That is not what you're here for. I know you didn't delete his, but you keep deleting things for grammar Nazism. Everybody say, boo, Gavin, boo! This is fun. Yeah, I know you deleted yours. It tells me who deletes it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Everybody hurts sometimes. This is fun. Yeah, I'm sure I do have dust on my head. We're just having fun, Gavin. Don't worry. No need to get tense. Dolphin and games, haha, everybody, up and laugh, haha. Oh my god, oh my god. I was like, I don't want to go too far, it's like, freaking... See, the trick to modding is to pretend like you know what you're doing. And then everybody will be like, oh my god, he knows what he's doing. It's like, of course I know what I'm doing. It's like, Hawkeye, how'd you learn all this stuff? Well, you fake it till you make it. Some people ask, how do you deal with all the stress? And I say, everybody hurts. I think we have a bit of a hole in this side here. We'll figure it out later. Hey Hawkeye, you made me start a hyper demolisher. I can't sleep at night trying to get it to work. Good. Inspiration. Inspiration's good. Where do you get your sledge fires? I thrifted all of mine. Because I ain't paying that much for a damn sledge fire. How much is sledge fire? They're not normally that price. They're normally like 25, somewhere around there. I've seen them go on sale for 12, which I should have gotten one or two, but I didn't because it was before I was interested in them. But I've thrifted 4 of them. If you're into Rival, you buy Nemesis. It's hard to grip this. Oh, that's still way off. Oh yeah, that's still way off. Oh my god. I'm trying to be like precise and stuff, and I'm like, I don't think this is straight. No, it's nowhere near straight, man. Oh my god, that's so off. About selling these? What? Selling what? What'd you ask, Trico? Did Hawkeye answer the question about selling these? What are you talking about? The sledge fires? What? Handle skills. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be selling these. Sorry. Yeah, I have a belt sander, but there's no way in hell I'm stupid enough to use it in my closet. Using a belt sander in the closet would be suicide. Not to mention the belt sander hogs off material. Like, I could overdo this by that much, that quick. Yeah, take off too much material without paying attention. Even if you are paying attention. This is more precision work here, because it's the final shape. That would be one way to do it, but it'd be very easy to screw that up. I don't mind doing it this way. So you've already taken off a little bit in this gap right here. So I'm going to have to add a little bit more material back into that gap right there. That's not a big deal. Still need a little bit taken off here. Actually need that from the side. And I wasn't proposing belt sander closet. Give me a little bit of credit here. I need more epoxy putty too, actually. My 4-pound batch is finally running short. Still need more taken off. Hawkeye, oh, I'm back. Hawkeye, the Gen 3 came out of Pokemon Go. I don't care. That must feel weird, running out of 4 pounds of putty. It really does. You know what else feels weird? Running out of 1,000 popsicle sticks. Epoxy putty has a bit of a shelf life expiration date, doesn't it? The stick putty more so, because those are 2 parts together. There's only so much of a barrier they can put there. The 2 separate tubs of epoxy sculpt have a little bit longer shelf life, but they do have some sort of shelf life, but I use it enough, so. Welcome back, Nate. That's actually pretty close. I've had the same box of popsicle sticks since I was 11 years old. Big long break in there that I didn't use them. I actually want to make sure I'm sanding the right side of this. I used to run into these popsicle sticks all the time and I built sort of playground popsicles all the time. Yeah, okay. Oops. We're getting real close here. Every blaster needs snack storage. See if telemarketers interrupted the stream. Oh, we're so close. When I'm sanding flat like this, even though it looks like I'm applying even pressure, I might be applying more pressure to one side or another depending on where I need to sand. We're so close here. Just gotta inch it forward. There's absolutely no room in Chaos Dogma for any of that. Okay, it's not perfect yet, but I think we're close enough where I'm happy with that, so we can start working on the shaping. Oh my god, that feels amazing. That's awesome. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be freaking awesome. Okay, so now we can start working on a bit of profiling here. I need to actually be careful. I'm clenching my jaw quite a bit here. I've had problems all growing up clenching my jaw too hard. I get too focused or something. Hey, Johnson. Can anyone recommend a site to find used Nerf blaster or a place that has single fires other than Amazon? Yeah, Craigslist, Letgo, OfferUp. I need some files. Hold on. And for those of you wondering, yes, I'm basically carving this by hand. Unfortunately, there's no trick or secret to it. This is how I did the hammer shot handles as well. They were just less complicated. They were the first time I was doing it, so. What are people up to today? Yeah, what are people up to today? Getting ready for Christmas? Yeah, I remember when that post was up. I saw it. I offered the guy something, but I wasn't going to pay full price for it, so. Hunting for a sludge fire. I don't suppose that has anything to do with this. I hate how it always focuses on the background. That's really annoying. Like, it's still focused on the background right now. That's ridiculous. It's still focused on the background. Focus, focus, focus. Whatever. See you, Nate. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, back to Dremel. Wait, did I hurt myself? Is that Sharpie or is that a blood blister? No, that's Sharpie. Okay. I think. Hold on. Let me make sure that's Sharpie and not blood blister. Because it kind of hurts. But I think it just happens to be a coincidence that there's Sharpie there. I can't actually tell. I'm pretty sure that's just Sharpie. See how there's a gap up here, but there's no gap down there? Still need to shave some back here, but we'll get to that eventually. That's nice. Hey Pete, what's going on? God, my screen is so dusty. Okay. Yeah. It's not gonna work as well as I thought it was going to. Only if you have plans to use it. So what we got so far. Still need to shave down some of that on the inside here. Hey Snail, what's going on? There's been a handful. There we go. Are you going to cast these like the hammer shot scales? Yes, I am. A little bit of extra work, but the ability to just pump these things out and make a bunch of these things is going to be sweet. So much fun. Shall we continue? Let's keep working on this one, I guess. Sorry, I thought someone came in. Let's see. I'm just thinking, hold on. I was going to take this line and go from here and then go all the way down and follow it like the normal line would. But since your finger rests right there, I think that might get into a comfort issue. So what I might just do is make this line just keep going straight right here. I might need to add material, but I might just make it a thin bump up instead of like a heavy one. It's hard to tell right now because they're different colors, but this right here is smooth, and then that line continues all the way over to here. I think that's a little bit more comfortable. Cool. Hey Neil, what's going on? Any tips for spraying? Sorry, a little late on the on all the replies and stuff. Kind of focusing. Any tips for spraying 2K clear coat? Put on a very thin layer, very, very, very thin layer, like not even covering. Just like spray on a very thin layer. Wait about 7 minutes, and then start doing the thicker coats. Spray on a little bit of a thicker coat. Wait another 7 minutes. Spray on another one. What time is it? It's 4 o'clock. Been going for about an hour and 39 minutes. Okay. Let's finish up down here. Hey Dragon, what's up? Would you ever consider hydro dipping? I mean, I've considered it, but I just don't like any of the patterns enough to actually use them. It's hard to use a pattern when you hate them all. I've seen snippets of it, I actually haven't seen Frozen all the way through. I still have to get these lines right here, these separation lines, to go across this way here, and on the back as well. This little separation line, want to keep it, just gotta carve it in. I have a sister, but she's 3 years older than me. It's one of those things where it's like you don't notice how thin the handle is until it's thicker. Because like this handle's comfortable, don't get me wrong. And when I first made these handles, it's like they might seem a little bit too big. It's like that seems a little bit too thick. But then after getting used to this, and then going back to the thinner handles, it seems a little weird. What pattern do you want in a film? I don't know. Like, isn't that the whole point that I don't like any of them? Not sure. I don't know, Gavin. I haven't thought about it. Depending on the blaster. I think I need a little bit more material there. Damn. I'm gonna have to fill that. How long will the stream last? No idea. I don't want this one to last forever, but maybe clean up some of this part, cut in the grooves, clean up some of the things, and then finish. So probably not too terribly long, but no guarantees on anything. What is this sculpted out of? Resin, handle scale handle from another blaster, epoxy sculpt. Just reading, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think I need a little more material right here, but nothing I can do about that at this moment. That's looking nice. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. Don't you dare spend $70 on a sludge fire. One will come up. Oops. You have to be patient for it. Thoughts on FDL2? Has durability issues, but its performance is good. Flywheels burn out, and the like the flywheels themselves, not the motors. The flywheels burn out, and the pusher mechanism burns out as well. So, still need to drill out these two holes right here to make room for these two screw ports. I'm wondering if I even need these screw ports. I really think I should, but I just don't like how far away from the actual screws they are. It's like 2 screws here, and then I'd have to go all the way down here without screws. I don't like that. I really want those screws there. So I have to make the screw ports here from scratch. Need to drill out the 2 screw ports here. I still need to shape the inside because I haven't touched the inside at all. I need to clean off my monitor. I need to add some epoxy right here. That needs a little bit of stuff right there. But we're getting there. Definitely making progress. Would recommend bigger hands for something like this, though. Going for 2 hours now. So I think we're just about ready to wrap up here. So if you guys have any last questions or comments, go ahead and start leaving those, and I will do my best to get to those. Sorry, just blowing off the mic so I can get some dust off there. Bloop. Bang. Bloop. Bang. Of course, if you make a Springer one of this, it'll be more like snap, snap. Bloop. Bang. Yeah, I imagine that's pretty loud. Bye, Hawkeye. Thank you for the awesome stream. As always, had a blast. Haha, puns. Thanks for sticking around, Trico. look how much of a gap I filled there. That'd be stupid thin. Would you run worker darts in the shells? No. Sorry, wasn't paying attention for a sec. Should I use Fangs, Michelle's, or Neo 130 motors? Does not matter to me. Probably Neo motors, and I don't know. Extra shotgun goodness through though. Is there any way to get more of the BSP stickers like what came with my order? Didn't see if you sold them or not. I just need one or two. Generally, no. Generally, I distribute them like for however many blasters you can put the items that you bought on. So if you buy like a flared magwell and a 180 cover, that's one strife. So I generally include one sticker, but if you have like a rapid strike cover and a strife cover, then that's two different blasters, so I'll usually include like two stickers. But generally you can't just get the stickers by themselves. Pretty happy with the way these handle scales are coming out so far. They're coming out exactly the way I wanted them to, which is weird because that normally doesn't happen. But really liking the way these are coming out so far. Coming out very, very nice, very comfy. For me anyway. The nice big heavy duty scales. Okay. I think that just about does it for this episode. Needless to say, the odds of us having another live stream before Christmas is negligible. So, if I don't see you guys have a very Merry Christmas, or whatever holiday you guys celebrate. I celebrate Christmas, so that's what I happen to be saying. You guys have a good Christmas, and if I don't see you in between here and there, have a good New Year as well. Thank you guys very much for sticking around. I appreciate it. You guys know I appreciate when you guys stick around for these live streams as long as you guys do, so. Hello, chicken. We're literally ending right now. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. And end stream.